You know how it goes. You have this new big goal that you want to achieve, right? And the first day you are motivated, you get into action, you get some momentum going, and it lasts for a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then it starts fizzling out, or you hit a wall and you feel stuck. You don't know what to do next, and you end up falling back into old habits and maybe giving up your goal altogether, right? I've been there. I'm sure you've been there. We've all been there, right? Well, I'm Teena Abuhamde. I'm a life and wellness coach. And today I'm going to talk about the 3 ways that you can go from being stuck and getting into action. Does that sound good? Let's be real. Reaching our goals requires you to change and do something different. You can't expect new habits, new things to happen if you're doing your old habits and doing things the same way you've been doing for year after year, right? So the 3 ways that I'm going to talk about today to get you from being stuck and into action are, we'll be discussing your why, acting and being what you want to become, and taking small actionable steps. You ready? So what is being stuck? Being stuck is when, like I said, you kind of feel like you hit a wall and you don't know where to go next, right? You've been going after your goal and all of a sudden it just seems overwhelming. You're like, oh, I'm not sure if I can even reach this goal anymore. I just don't know if I can do this anymore. And you feel stuck. You just don't know how to get back into taking action. And there's reasons why you become stuck. You start feeling uncomfortable, right? Your brain, this is really interesting science, your brain likes to remain comfortable. And when you do something new, new habits or anything, it kind of thinks of it as a threat. So it will give you some resistance and want you to go back to the old habits. Kind of funny, right? But yeah, that's true. It wants to be comfortable, and changing your ways and developing new habits feels a little uncomfortable for your brain. So sometimes it'll make some resistance and get you back into those old habits. Another reason you might be staying stuck is those old beliefs start popping in. I'm not good enough. I've never done this before. What makes me think I can do this new thing? Those type of things that keep us stuck. Your brain, again, just trying to be comfortable, and that old programming that isn't even really your thoughts in the first place. So why is it important to get unstuck? Well, the obvious reason is so you can reach your goal, right? Also, being in action keeps up the momentum going so you can reach that end game, so you can reach that goal. Pushing past your resistance also tells your brain that everything is okay. It is okay to stretch our comfort zone. So the next time you do something new, start a new habit, your brain won't be giving you that much resistance. It will start lowering and lowering the resistance because the brain will know, hey, we pushed our comfort zone before. You're going to be okay, right? Once you stop taking action, it gets more challenging to start again, right? That is why you take small steps. But yeah, if you stop, it's hard to start again and you end up going back to old habits. I know I've been there. I'm sure many of you have been there too. So now let's get into the 3 ways that you can get unstuck and start getting into action. And the first one that I love to talk about is your why. So Teena, what do you mean by your why? Well, your why is the reason that you want to reach the goal. And your why has to be big enough that makes you hungry for it, that no matter what happens, that resistance comes up, you are going to remember that why and keep on going. It has to be something that really keeps you motivated, for lack of a better term. like I said, it has to be big enough to keep you hungry. Something your why that makes you cry, your why that makes you fly. Those are some of the terminology that people use. And it's really that thing that you're like, no, this is the reason I am doing it. I am not going to stop. I am going to keep on going. And one of the good things to do is like take your why and put it on the wall so you can see it, someplace where you can see it all the time. And some of those whys can be, you want to lose weight to attend a wedding. And sometimes that might not even be big enough. You might be like, yeah, that's great. I want to lose weight to attend a wedding. But you keep on digging deeper and deeper and deeper. Take some time to journal this because, well, why? Why do I want to look good for the wedding? What else do I get from losing weight, getting healthy? And it may boil down to, I've heard clients say, well, I want to be healthy enough and in shape to play soccer with my child outside, to go hiking with them. I want to be able to be active in my children's life. That sometimes is a big why. So those times we're like, oh, I just don't feel like exercising today. You remember, wait a minute. I want to play with my kids outside. I want to be that parent that kicks the ball with my kid and is actively playing soccer with them or actively hiking with them, whatever it may be. And that is enough to get you going on those hard times. For me, when I was going through my healing journey with Lyme, my why was my son. My son, he had his own health issues. He has still Crohn's disease, and he handled that so well. He was so brave doing it. So when I had my own journey with Lyme disease, I had to keep telling myself, I can't let him down. He was so brave and he got through it. I can't give up. What kind of role model am I being? And another big one for me was he was graduating in the year 2020. And one of my big reasons to get healthy again was so I can watch him graduate. I envisioned myself sitting in the stands, watching him walk across the stage to get his diploma, sitting in the sun. And that was a huge motivator for me. So that was my why when I was going through my journey. And it helped me many times because there's many times I wanted to give up. I just didn't feel like doing what I need to do to get better. But I would think about that. And I'm like, nope, I'm not going to let him down. And I want to attend that graduation. And that would keep me going. So that is why your why is one of the reasons that can keep you from getting stuck. So the next one is act and be the person you want to become. So what does that mean? That means that you start acting now like the person would act who achieved that goal. And what I would do is I kind of thought about Olympic athletes, right? They work out and they practice no matter what the weather. They'll practice in the rain, they'll practice in the snow, they'll practice in the heat. Nothing stops them from achieving their goal to be that gold Olympian, right? So I would apply that to my journey. Again, let's take that example of wanting to get into shape, to have this vital energy that you can play soccer with your kids or go hiking with your kids, or maybe you want to run a marathon, right? How would that parent that plays with their kid act when they don't want to work out in the morning? They would most likely get out of bed, no matter what the weather, no matter what they feel like, and exercise. They would eat healthier, right? They would already have that healthy lifestyle because they're at that end goal. So take some time to journal about that. What would a person that achieved my goal, what would they act like? How would they behave? What would their habits be? So when you start feeling stuck, like I said, you might wake up in the morning going, oh, it's raining outside. I don't want to go for a walk. Nope. That person that plays with their kids, that person that's running that marathon, they get up, they hike, they walk, no matter what the weather. So I'm going to go up and do that. Hope that makes sense. And, one of the good things that you could do is find photos of the people that represent your end goal. And you can put that like on a vision board or whatever to motivate yourself to see. That'll be a visual motivation of acting like the person you want to become. That's another way you could say this, is acting better than you feel. I had to use that one a lot. I remember I got tickets to watch a Giants Dodgers game with one of my friends. I'm a big Dodgers fan. If you're a Giants fan, please don't hate me. But I really wanted to see them play in San Francisco. And my friend had tickets for this game. And at this time, I wasn't recovered yet. And I hadn't done a journey like that, drive to the city, ride a bus into the city, not a bus, a train into the city, and eat, the Coliseum food. I hadn't done that yet. So I was nervous about it. And that's another tip. If you're nervous about something, a little trick for your brain, say your excitement, because when you're nervous, the anxiety will keep on raising. But if you say you're excited, your brain will go, oh, she's excited, and cut off the anxiety. So anyways, that morning I was still kind of nervous. So I'm like, no, you're excited. So I would switch that. And I wanted to become the person that would do activities no matter what. And that's what I did. I'm like, no, you want to gain your life back. You want to be able to take trips again. And the person who takes trips, goes on vacations, would go no matter what. So I would push myself to do it. I'm so glad I did. It was a beautiful day. The weather was beautiful. The Dodgers won. And I had a great time. So that's an example of how you can kind of push yourself and act better than you feel. So let's talk about the third way from going stuck and getting into action. And that is taking your big goal and bringing it down into little tiny, smaller steps. Not tiny, but smaller steps. So you can take action every day. And it makes it easier so you don't feel so overwhelmed thinking about the big goal at the end. That old saying, how do we need an elephant? One bite at a time. The same thing. How do you reach your goal? One small step at a time. And the benefit of this is you can celebrate along the way. You can celebrate taking those little actions. Kind of back to that example I had earlier, going for a walk in the rain. You can celebrate, yay, I did 5 minutes of walking today. Yay, I reached 10 minutes of walking. You can celebrate along the way, bring up those happy hormones, and that will help keep you motivated too, because your brain will be like, oh, if we walk an extra 5 minutes, we're going to be happy, right? So it really helps to keep you motivated and get you into action when you know you just have a small step to do. I don't have to run a marathon. I could run for 10 minutes, if you're just starting out, or maybe even 10 steps. I don't know, wherever your starting point is, but where it pushes you a little bit. So take it down into small steps. I'll give you an example of this is, again, when I was recovering, I love to hike. And one of my favorite hikes is like this 4-mile hike where you kind of go up this big incline and go around, down, and back. And if I thought about the whole hike, I felt overwhelmed. I don't know if I could ever do that again. So I did small steps. And the part where it inclined, the first time, I only went like 5 feet. But I celebrated that. I think, yes, I did 5 feet. And then the next time, I did like maybe another 5 feet. And then before I know it, I could see a tree that was maybe 200 feet away. So I'd go to the tree and I'd celebrate every time that I would get a little bit further. And then it was so incredible that I walked a little bit. I'm like, you can go further and you can further. And I can see the top. And I was going to turn around. And I was like, nope, the top is right there. I'm going for it. And I did it. And I did the 4-mile hike. And I did it like a week or two before my goal date of Thanksgiving. And so I was super excited. And that's an example of how you can take the big goal and bring it down into smaller steps. So again, those 3 ways to get you from stuck into action are your why. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to achieve your goal? 2, act and be the person you want to become. And 3, take that big goal and bring it down into small, actionable steps. I really encourage you to do this. I encourage you to take one day and maybe journal about what's your why and keep on asking why until you have a why that really won't stop you from achieving your goal. And then take another day and journal about or think about who that person would be who already achieved that goal. And start acting like that person, like you already have achieved that goal. And 3rd, take your big goal and start figuring out how to break it down into small steps. Go ahead and save this video for future reference if you need to see it again and maybe even motivate you. Hopefully this will motivate you too. And I encourage you to grab my cheat sheet, the 10 proven strategies to achieve your goals. And you can get that at teena-a.com/cheat-sheet. That's like a tongue twister. So again, that's Teena, TEENA-a.com/cheat, CHEAT -sheet, SHEET. And you can download that. And thank you so much for watching me and joining me today. And if you like this, subscribe to my channel because I will be coming on here more often with great tips and how-tos and inspiration. So thanks again for being here. Have a wonderful day.